and gentlemen, we present Freshlight, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to the limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio.
Morning from this side. Today being the 10th day in the month of August. As we already know, we are already in rainy season, so don't forget to always keep yourself warm. On this note, we are welcoming you to Freshlight, where we read national dailies and also save you the strength of flipping through the newspaper pages. Today will be exempted. My name is Risqat Suleiman.
Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTV. I'm with this morning. I'm Sowole Moshood. Good morning.
Alright, in the studio today we have copies of newspaper we will be going through. We have the Punch newspaper, we have the Daily Trust newspaper, Vanguard, and the Nation newspaper. Okay, picking our first story, our first newspaper for today. We will be starting with the Nation newspaper. And starting with this leading story on Niger, Islamic clerics wade into prevent military actions. Tinubu OK's intervention, resolving crisis needs everybody, says Sanusi. APC replace Betta, Edu, Kyari, Nwosu, others. No replacement for Lukman yet. Otudeko, Otedola intensified battle for FBN holding controls. You can find this on the page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Resident doctors to weigh options on suspended strike. You can find this on the page 6 of the Nation newspaper. Also on the page 5, we have Justice Odili. I have nothing to do with tribunal judgment. Gunmen killed cleric in Gombe. You can find this on page 29 of the Nation newspaper. Tax before NEDC board by Shetima, page 6 of the Nation newspaper. And finally, on the Nation newspaper, forex scarcity pushes exchange rate to 782 per dollar, 82 naira per dollar. These are many more stories we are going to find on the Nation newspaper. And going into the details of these papers.
The first story I'll be taking on the Nation newspaper this morning is on Niger. Niger, Islamic clerics wade in to prevent military action. Islamic clerics and leader yesterday intensified their effort to save off military action against Niger Republic's coup leader. Notably, the President of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at the presidential villa in Abuja and secure his notes to meet with the junta in Niamey to make them to say reason and prevent bloodshed. They are also interested in ensuring that the tie between Nigeria and Niger are not broken, given the centuries-old relationship. Also yesterday, former Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi, met with the coups leader in Niamey and returned to Abuja to brief President Tinubu. Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, NSCII, and a reunion of Episcopal Conference of West Africa, RICOA, also cautioned against military action. Niger Islamic cleric weighed in to prevent military action. You can take out the Nation's newspaper this morning for more details.
Still on the Nation newspaper, and I have this story with me. Tinubu meets with Wike El-Rufai in Aso Rock. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday met with the former governors in Wike Rivers and Nasiru El-Rufai, Kaduna State Governor, at the presidential villa in Abuja. Both former governors are President Tinubu ministerial nominees, but while Wike scaled the Senate screening, El-Rufai's nomination has not been passed. Wike came out of the meeting with the president around 1:40 p.m. while El-Rufai arrived at 2 p.m. for a session with the president. Our sources at the presidential villa hinted that efforts were being made for the Senate to confirm El-Rufai. Both former governors declined to address reporters after their separate meetings with President Tinubu, and no official information was forthcoming on what transpired between the president and the minister nominees. To read the details of this story, you can pick the Nation newspaper this morning. It has this headline: Tinubu meets with Wike El-Rufai in Aso Rock.
Still on the Nation newspaper this morning, forex scarcity pushes exchange rate to 782 naira per dollar. The naira yesterday dropped by 3.2% to 782.38 naira per dollar at the market-driven investor and exporters I&E windows. It was said to have traded at 900 naira per dollar in the parallel market. The volatility is attributed to the rising backlog of the immense dollar demand and the scarcity of the green-black at the official and retail end of the market. With an estimated $8 billion backflow of the demand at the official market and dollar scarcity at the parallel market, local currency has continued to depreciate significantly. With $45 million turnover, the supply at the official market has equally nosedived, with the large parts of the demand spiraling in the parallel market. Forex scarcity pushes exchange rate to 782 naira per dollar. You can take on the Nation newspaper this morning for more details.
All right, federal government appeals order granting a Emefiele bail. The battle for lawful custody of the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, will resume today at the Federal High Court in Lagos. Two fresh applications by both the banker and the federal government will come up for consideration. The first application filed by the federal government on August 3rd is seeking leave to appeal against the July 25 order of vacation Judge Justice Nicholas Oweibo, which granted Emefiele bail. The second, filed by Emefiele on August 8th, is asking the court to stop the federal government from further prosecuting him on the charge of illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition and any other charge. The federal government filed its application through a deputy director of public prosecution of the Federation, Nkiru Jones Nebo. To read details of this story, you can pick the Punch newspaper. Federal government appeals order grant Emefiele bail.
Our next on our desk this morning is on Daily Trust, our newspaper this morning. Akpabio under fire over comments on senators' holiday enjoyment allowances. FIRC set to take over 62 agencies' tax collection mandate. Presidential committee. 2 arrested for raping infecting guy with hepatitis in Jigawa. Naira inches toward 1,000 naira per dollar at 1,000 naira per $1 at parallel market. Sanusi meets Niger military leader brief Tinubu. Sultan lead NSCIA oppose force economic sanction. You can take on the Daily Trust newspaper for the newspaper headline this morning. Going into the this morning.
Going into the details of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, coup still on Niger issue. Coup PDP warns federal government on war with Niger. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party and its governors has warned the federal government of Nigeria in dangers of ongoing war in Niger Republic. The opposition party Sowole, who rose from a meeting in Abuja on Saturday, said it was risky deploying troops to the Republic of Niger in effort to restore democracy after recent military coup in the country. They urged the federal government to instead use dialogue to resolve the political impasse in the country. At the meeting comprised of governors elected on the platform of the party, the presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and his vice Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, members of the National Working Committees NWC led by the acting national chairman Ambassador Umar Damandu and National Secretary Senator Samuel Anyanwu. In communique read to the journalists after the meeting of the Bauchi State Governors Lodge in Asokoro, Abuja by Senate Bala Mohammed, chairman PDP's Governors Forum, the party also urged President Bola Tinubu to cut costs of the governors by trimming down the numbers of ministers. Or to read details of this story, you can pick Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Coup, PDP warns federal government on war with Niger.
Still on Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Akpabio under fire over comments on senators' holiday enjoyment allowances. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio has come under heavy criticism after mistakenly disclosing that holiday allowances has been sent to senators' bank accounts. Akpabio had on Monday, before the Senate adjourned for annual recess, told his colleagues that money has been sent to them to enjoy their holiday, apparently forgetting that the proceeding was being captured on live camera. Though he made the statement on Monday before adjoining a plenary to September 26, the video went viral on social media yesterday. The Senate President said, and I quote, "In order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays, a token has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly." Upon realizing that he was speaking on the live television, he quickly retreated and said, "I will withdraw the statement. In order to allow you to enjoy your holiday, the Senate President has sent a prayer to your mailboxes to assist you to go on a safety journey and return." Akpabio under fire over comment on senators' holiday enjoyment allowances. You can take on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning for more details.
Okay, before picking another newspaper, which is Vanguard newspaper, let's go for short commercial break. We will be right back.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tours. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Central Mall, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour.
gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó bágbà mu ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zayana. House of Zayana, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House of Zayana, lẹ́tí máa rójúlówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai, àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi, àwọn ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ bàtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fa wọ original ṣe, àwọn aago kájọ́ tó ń ka wákàtí ọjọ́, designer sunglasses and perfumes, pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbafẹ́ lò gbà. Mo débẹ̀ ojú mi ń ṣe kámi, èmi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ́ gbòógè gbọ́n pa fashion tẹ́ wá nílò jàlábíà, hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zayana lẹ́ò ti rí gbogbo ẹ̀ rà. House of Zayana wà ní 52 Ọlọ́run ṣògo road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish Ọlọ́run ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. Lórí Instagram House of Zayana 08165688618. House of Zayana, ilé ìtajà tá a ti ń tojúlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì.
Don't forget, we are still on Freshlight, where we read to you national dailies, and we bring couples of newspapers. We are moving to Vanguard newspaper. On Vanguard newspaper, we have this: OPS raises alarm over surge capital flight business closure. You can find this on page 19 of Vanguard newspaper. Emefiele asks courts to stop federal government from further prosecuting him. Page 8 captured the story. Kano CJ gives magistrate court 6 months to dispose pending cases. You can find this on the page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. 2023, all eyes now on judiciary. Owerri Catholic bishops says. You can find this on the page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper. I'm picking the leading headlines. Niger coup, Sanusi meets junta's leaders. Brief Tinubu. You can find this on the page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Resident doctors suspend nationwide protest. On page 9 of the Vanguard captured the story. Edo Excos condemns Shaibu over impeachment saga. At 12, page 12 captured the story. FIRS more suited to collect revenue for government. You can find this on the page 9 on the Vanguard newspaper. Constitution review, Senate assure promoters of Tiga, Gari State in Kano. Bandits killed 3 in Taraba. You can find this on the page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. And lastly, on the sports column, 2023 WWC, we lacked motivation support from NFF. Onumono says. So you can find this on the page 31 on the sports page. I'm moving to the details of the story.
The first story I'll be going to this morning on Vanguard newspaper is on Emefiele. Emefiele asks court to stop FG from further prosecuting him. Lagos suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has asked a federal high court sitting in Lagos to stop federal government through Department of State Service (DSS) from further prosecuting him. Emefiele, arraigned on July 25th by DSS over allegedly illegal possession of firearms, was however admitted to bail and ordered to be remanded in the prison custody, but was rearrested by DSS. In a fresh application before Justice Nicholas Oweibo, Emefiele, through his lawyer led by Mr. Joseph Daudu San, is seeking an order of the court discharging him of all charges brought against him by the DSS, arguing that it was a barren disobedience of the subsisting order of the court granting him bail on July 25, 2023. He further prayed for an order prohibiting the federal government from continuing to enjoy an form of indulgence from the court except and unless it complies with the bail ruling. Emefiele asked court to stop FG from further prosecuting him. You can take on the Vanguard newspaper this morning for more details.
Still on Vanguard newspaper, illegal checkpoints, IGPs called arrest police immigration officers. There was a pandemonium and confusion along the Badagry Seme Expressway yesterday as police officer believed to be under the Inspector of General of Police, Inspector General of Police IGP Special Squad arrested some policemen and operatives of the Nigerian Immigration Service (NIS) during a raid on illegal checkpoints on the Seme Badagry Expressway. Vanguard gathered the IGP squad chase and arrest some officers and other security agents found out some of the checkpoints believed to have been created purely to extort. The development may not be unconnected with the recent meeting with the Comptroller General of Customs Bashir Adeniyi and IGP Mr. Kayode Egbetokun. They are resolved to fix the axis which serve as the Lagos-Abidjan corridor of illegal checkpoints. The activities of the illegal checkpoint has led to all manners of disruptions of the movement of goods and people, believed to have also hindered trade facilitation. Apart from the negative image such action exposes the country before the regional and continental community. To read details of this story, you can pick the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Illegal checkpoints, IGP squad arrest police immigration officers.
Still on the Vanguard, the last one on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. 2 died in Lagos road accidents. 2 persons, a male and a female, died in an accident that occurred on Eco Bridge inward Alaka area of Lagos on Wednesday. Operatives of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority last month, with other emergency responders, also rescued 5 other victims at the accident scene. The Director of Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of Lastma, Mr. Taufik Adebayo, made the disclosure in a statement in Lagos on Wednesday. He said that Lasman Zebra, Zone 3, Ipori, Lagos, Mr. Akin Olushola, will lead the rescue team, confirmed that the fatal accident involved 6 private vehicles, including a fully loaded Mack truck with registration number T1501LA. According to him, the preliminary investigation shows that the collision, which includes a commercial minibus, Korupe, was a result of speed and brake failure. He said that the 5 rescue victims and 2 dead bodies has been taken to the nearby General Hospital with an ambulance belonging to Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Lazima Response Unit, LRU. 2 dies in Lagos road accident. You can take on the Vanguard newspaper this morning for more details.
Picking Punch as the last newspaper of the day on Freshlight this morning. Federal government may stop customs NPA 61 agencies from collecting trillions in revenues. Organized private sector divided as NASIMA LCCI opposed proposal. You can find this on the page 9 of the Punch newspaper. El-Rufai Wike meets Tinubu over ministerial confirmation. You can find this on the page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Still on Niger, UN, AU, ECOWAS meet on next move. NSCIA warns federal government. You can find this on page 2 of the Vanguard newspaper. The major decision expected at Abuja meeting. Ex-Kano Emir Sanusi meets junta leader Tehani. Nigerian rebels over to restore disposed president's coup details and coup leaders accuse France of fueling crisis. You can find this also on the page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Federal government to spend 341 billion naira on judgment debt. Page 7 captured the story. 4 Amotekun officers dismissed for indiscipline. This is coming from Ondo Commander. You can find this on the page 4. And lastly, on the Punch newspaper, cooking gas prices will rise next week, says marketer. You can find this on page 25. And these are many more stories you find on the Punch newspaper this morning. Going into the details. The
first story today on our Punch newspaper this morning. FG may stop customs MPA 61 agencies from collecting trillions in revenues. A proposal by the Presidential Committee on Tax Policy and Fiscal Reform may stop the Nigerians the Nigerian Customs Service, Nigerian Post Authority, Nigerian Postal Service, and 60 other ministries, departments, and agencies from collecting revenues on behalf of the federal government. The new plan means trillions of revenue generated or collected by the agencies will now be collected by Federal Inland Revenue Service. The Presidential Committee on Tax Policy and Fiscal Reform said Nigerian Customs Service and 62 other ministry departments and agencies are not meant to collect revenue directly. The chairman of the committee, Taiwo Oyedele, who spoke on Channels Television Sunrise Daily Breakfast Program on Wednesday, said FIRS was best suited to collect revenue for MDAs. According to Oyedele, who is the former fiscal policy partner and African tax leader at the PricewaterhouseCoopers, Nigeria revenue collection from taxes is one of the lowest in the world, but the cost of collection is high. FG may stop customs, MPA, 61 agencies from collecting trillions in revenue. You can take on the Punch newspaper this morning for more details.
Cooking gas price to rise next week, says marketers. The president of the Nigerian Association of Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers, Olatunbosun Oladapo, said gas consumers should brace themselves for price hikes starting next week. He cited rising international prices, high tax rates, and prices of vessels, forest scarcity, and naira devaluation as some of the reasons for the intended price review. It is starting next week because the international prices has gone up and the prices of vessels have gone up and taxes are high, but consumers are not any more. He said, and I quote, their purchasing power has gone down. Everybody is crying. Consumers, middlemen, and retailers are feeling the impact because business is now on the low side, he said. Olatunbosun described the imminent price increment as unfortunate. Now, to read details of this story, you can pick the Punch newspaper this morning. Cooking gas prices to rise next week, says marketers. The Punch newspaper punches this out this morning. I think after this program, I'll have to go and take my cylinder, even hire my neighbors on rent it and fill my gas.
Even though if you rent it and fill your gas up, it will finish one day.
Maybe I should try bucket.
There's no I want to do it to finish one day. I hope our federal government has sent all this. I think it's because people are now moving from petrol back to gas, generator gas, and I think the cost of inflation in this country is too much. I think it's time for that government.
It's time our federal government should work on this seriously.
Petrol is cost.
Petrol is cost. Even kerosene is cost. Everything is cost. Now gas that we are affording now, it's rising as from next.
I pray even if everything costs, I pray to God that we'll still the money to buy all this. On the spot page on the Punch newspaper this morning, I won't sell Osimhen for 200 million euro. De Laurentiis. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis has revealed that the club's most prized asset, Victor Osimhen, will not be sold this summer, even if the valuation of 200 million euro is met. De Laurentiis made this known during his conversation with the Napoli Ultras in a retreat before the team trained in Abruzzo on Wednesday. As reported by Punch Sport Extra on July 31st, the Partenopea president, who turned down a lucrative 130 million euro bid from Saudi Arabia side Al-Hilal for the Nigerian striker, is focused on securing Osimhen's future at the club by negotiating a new contract extension. I'm not selling Osimhen even for 200 million euro, De Laurentiis was quoted as saying, according to Casio Napoli. Meanwhile, Osimhen has to cut short his training with his club teammates on Tuesday after he suffered a sprain on his ankle. The 24 years old was badly injured after colliding with his new club teammate Nathan De Souza in a challenge. I will not sell Osimhen for 200 million euro. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis. You can take on the Punch newspaper for more details this morning.
Picking our last stories on the Punch newspaper this morning, 4 Amotekun officers dismissed for indiscipline, Ondo commander says. The commander of the Ondo State Security Network Agency, also known as Amotekun Corps, Adetuji Adeleye, has said the corps has zero tolerance for indiscipline among its officers and men. This is just as he said the corps has dismissed 4 of its officers who violated its rules and regulations. Adeleye, who is also the special advisor to the governor on security matters, disclosed this while speaking with journalists in Akure, the state capital, on Wednesday. He said, and I quote, "We have summarily dismissed 4 erring officers who ran afoul on the laws and rules guiding the operation of the corps, while several others have been sent on detention centers to ensure that they conform to the norms and standard operational practice of the organization." The commander also disclosed that 1,500 of the arrested criminals have been charged in court. To read details of this story, you can pick the Punch newspaper this morning, and this is where we call it a wrap on Freshlight. Don't forget to always like, comment, and share all our content. Let it be conversational. You can drop your comments and we will also respond to it as soon as possible. Don't forget, we still have other programs awaiting. We have What is Trending by 11:30, so don't stay tuned, join us. We also have another interesting program, which is Atajere, coming up soon. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much for listening to us on Al-IyamoyeTV and with the Freshlight. Don't join us tomorrow again on another episode of Freshlight. I remain Sowole Moshood.
And I am Risqat Funmilayo. Do enjoy the rest of the day.
It is essential to be up to date